Welcome back, everybody, to the European Unity League. My name is Will Hall, better known on the internet as the Will Hall EXP, and I am joined by Andreas Pearson, better known as Eco Baron. How are you doing so far as we're going into round number 4, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great. Modern showing that despite there being a big bad wolf, also a lot of other strategies available. So yeah, without spoiling, I think that's a bit of a forecast for this round as well.
More combo decks is what I'd say. There's a lot of combo decks floating around right now because Modern just feels to me as a format where you need to be quick. You need to be quick. You need to be efficient. Combo is like who can kill each other quickest. Basically by turn 4. Really, we're not a turn 4 format anymore, but
Yep.
it's who can win by turn 4. As we get down to our feature match area, where we have got two players battling out at 3-0 records. We've got blue-white control at the bottom of our screen, so we'll get that changed in a second, and brood scale at the top of our screen, another combo deck, but a different one, which is nice to see in Modern, because that means we've got multiple different ways to combo. It's kind of dealer's choice, but this one does happen to have 3 copies of Khan the Great Creator in it, which, as you know, is pretty good against these decks.
Definitely. And I wanted to highlight that a little bit exactly. The fact that, sure, we are playing a combo deck. We're trying to do our own thing, but we're also trying to make keep the format in mind. And then a card like Karn is both helping you and is disrupting the opponent. So I really like how you can kind of hit more birds with one stone when it comes to deck building choices. On the other side of the table, it looks like we have a companion, Kahira. So that's basically saying that I'm either running creatureless or only running the elementals like Solitude, which is to be expected out of blue-white control. It does give the opponent a little bit of info in the mulligan stage. Tune the narrative here, getting cycled. So that's basically also giving away information that we are running an energy package of sorts. Wrath of the Skies being the obvious one here.
Also, it's going to be really good against this deck, right? Like, again, really low casting cost of basically everything in this deck. We've got the Brood Scale, Blade of Blood Chiefs, Soulgate Lanterns, Springleaf Drums, Vexing Baubles, Urza's Sagas itself. Basically hits everything besides Khan, and we've got, a one-off Emrakul in here because we do have a way of generating infinite mana in this deck. Also, don't worry about Brood Scale right now. Let's talk about what we just seen there. Narset hitting a Day's Undoing.
Narset into Day's Undoing is let's call it a Vintage Cube special, although there you're probably using like Time Twister or Wheel of Fortune, but that is definitely a potent combo. So the opposing deck basically needs to deal with the Narset, otherwise it's going to be a one-sided draw 7.
Yeah, when we're dealing with all these combo decks trying to do the crazy broken things, it's really hard for them to do when they can't draw more than one card a turn and have 0 cards in hand. So that that could be next turn a really devastating play. We're going to need something along the lines of a Walking Ballista on 3, or maybe even a Blade of the Blood Chief, and then be able to trigger it multiple times. Because if we let that Narset stick around, it is not going to be good for us.
For sure, it isn't. So let's see. Kozilek's command was cast end of turn, making 2 Eldrazi spawns. Probably, getting deeper into the deck as well on the second mode. Urza's Saga is up to 2 here, but now I think, yeah, the sense of urgency is really high for the combo deck here. Ironically,
I'm sure there's a way we do. I think we've got access to 6 mana if it's now Eldrazi. Now 7 mana if it's Eldrazi, at least 6 if it's not. 4 mana being cast here. We're going to play a Khan. So Khan, it's going to resolve. This isn't the deck to like shut off. It's not Breach or anything crazy like that, but it is a threat that will survive underneath Wrath of the Skies and can do this, which we're seeing now.
So Liquid Metal Coating, shutting off a land on the opponent's upkeep. So this is basically just try and play around the fact that the opponent might not have the 4th land drop at the ready.
This is interesting. We're not far enough Days Undoing. Maybe that's just me being too greedy too early. Is there a reason behind this? Is it like, oh, well, the battlefield's not
I
that scary, we can
mean,
deal with what's going on?
it turned out the blue-white player didn't have an untapped land, and the archive was shut off by the coding plus Karn, so simply unable to cast the undoing, and not a strategical decision to not do it.
Ooh, watch this. Khan can return things from exile.
Karn actually likes stuff getting exiled, so prismatic ending at this point is not necessarily an advantage.
And then we've got in the upkeep an orange chant, which means spells cannot be cast this turn from our brute scale player.
Orm's Chant. That is a blast from the past. Is
4
that
copies in the main. How's that for you?
Oh wow! When I looked at the deck list, it was listed kind of weird, but okay, I see them now. Orm's Chant. Wow, yeah, that is certainly also a card that is very contextual. But it's it's good enough because if your opponent plays an Underworld Breach, you can play an Orm's Chant, and it functions kind of like a counterspell. So I guess I'll allow it. I love that reprint.
No, yeah, I've seen it a couple of times in what's the 2-mana artifact?
Isochrome Scepter.
Yes, with Scepter in these lists. Doesn't line up like great when you're playing Wrath of the Skies yourself, but it's a nice way of being able to lock your opponent out. Like not a lot of people are playing around in Modern right now.
Definitely. And here it's very crucial because you alluded to Karn would have been able to just go straight back and find something even more powerful out of the sideboard. So now it looks like Days Undoing is gonna get cast.
Vexing Bubble is going to be found off this Urza Saga kind of fetch. So that is another way of us putting something into play. That token, that is an Eldrazi spawn too. Oh, that's
I believe it's a construct that was just created.
Because we can't cast anything. It makes sense. Tick up the Karn, pass the turn back. 4 mana available. Now 5 with that gate coming down.
Yeah, now we might see the wheeling and dealing of Narset plus Days Undoing.
So scary. But then do we need to do this is the other thing, because if we do that, this Karn is still on the battlefield, still unchecked.
Yep.
So we're going to add the Kahira to hand, leave up double blue. We know there's counter spell in hand.
So we like our own hand so much that we're not interested in doing that, which is quite interesting.
Now
is this a kicked Orange Chant?
Yep, it's kicked Orange Chant, which means the Narset gets to stick around again.
Because now no spells can get cast and no attacking either.
And this is just the game plan for these control decks, right? Go into the later turns, have a bunch of land, then just like rotate everything through, have my opponent with no cards in hand. I've got a full grip of 7, and that's how we're going to pull away and win this game. But this Karn still going to be tricky. No actual answers to get it off the battlefield besides prismatic ending in if we've got the 4 mana colors, which I don't think.
Yeah, I actually only think we have 3 colors available in this deck. There is a single copy of Otawara. But I guess attacking it will also do the job. Here's Kahira getting cast, which is kind of cool.
Another chant in the upkeep. That's the 3rd one, ladies and gentlemen. 1 more left in the deck. Land, tick up Karn, go.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. What is the kind of end game rather out of the blue deck? Was this Gaia Reach Sanctum?
Yeah, that was say that's another way of us being able to lock out with this Narset after a Days Undoing if it was to be cast. But looks like we've got something to do with 2 mana right now. It is going to be a Wrath of the Skies for 0.
At least X. There's no mana spend on X, and no energy either, I guess. So it's just to kill the construct.
The construct and there's a Saga.
Oh, the Urza Saga getting developed and it being an enchantment is super relevant here. Great call.
So yep, they're both going to go in a crack
the. Oh, the bubble was just cracked in response, but X was 0. That clears the way for the Kahira attack. This is a way to build your own Vindicate. Just attack the Karn sometimes.
Now's the Days Undoing. So I'm going to put graveyards and hand into your deck, shuffle it up, draw 7.
So worth noting is your opponent will get to draw 0 cards because they cracked the bauble already.
Oh no.
So no more cards this turn
Oh
for the
no.
opponent.
Oh no. That's even worse.
That is definitely even worse. Maybe I'm getting paranoid, but we just want to make sure that this player is not going to draw cards here.
Fingers crossed. Oh well, I don't know if that's fingers crossed. Do you want to see something so brutal?
Sure.
7 fresh ones here for our blue-white player. You can draw a card in your turn. Khan's still active, remember, on 3, can tick down, can find something at the sideboard.
Yep.
This is the first turn in 4 turns of that actually being allowed to play something as well.
After back-to-back Orm's Chant, even kicked once relevant attackers hit the field.
Let's see, can we win from this spot? So what if we went Brood Scale? Actually, yeah, so we can go Brood Scale. Can we get Brood Scale? Brood Scale is 2 mana.
Yes.
And we play Blade, which is 1.
So you're saying if we get that off Karn?
That's a Walking Ballista that's found.
Yeah.
So Blade is 1 to play, 1 to equip. We basically need 1 more mana, and I think we can combo off once. But we're going to go 2 mana for Walking Ballista, 1 mana for a Delighted Halfling, my favorite 1-drop in Modern.
Yeah, that card is a great design. I really love that card.
And then in end of step, we're going to tune the Ether, add 2 more energy, go another card deeper, and pass. I also realized I was trying to work out a way to win the game when my opponent had no cards in hand. So yeah, that wasn't going to happen.
Definitely, because only the 1 card from the top of the deck would help there. So here we see a first main phase Prismatic Ending onto the Ballista, which probably forces to trade for the Kahira.
No, you've got to shoot the Narset, otherwise the lands are going to lock you out.
Gaia Reach Sanctum is in play, so very, very good catch.
Double Prismatic Ending dealing with both threats. Now we've just moved the 2 land and the Sanct. What was it? Sanctuary?
Gaia Reach Sanctum.
Sanctum. Yep.
So now you can let your opponent draw, activate, and then they don't get to draw, but they still have to discard.
So you just do that in the upkeep, right?
That works. Yeah, you're right. That works as well.
So that's mean for the rest of the game now in the upkeep.
Yeah,
continuously never drawing a card. The only thing they got going is ticking up this Khan, which is a lifeline, I guess.
Yeah, you're playing against a control deck, so you're not going to be facing that many creatures, but the deck does have 4 copies of Solitude. We know about that.
There's a Hall of Storm Giants in play.
I was about to say, do we have any fancy stuff? Yeah, we do have a 1 of Pioneer All-Star Hall of Storm Giants.
Hey, I love that art. And any chance I get to talk about D&D, I will take it. Love the Hall of Storm Giants adventure. But anyway, we're going to see the control player taking this one down.
Pretty cool to see how flexible the control deck is. Sometimes you just kill all your opponent's stuff, but sometimes you set up like a pseudo combo / prison situation and just take down the game.
I feel like if I'm the Brood Scale player or the Breach player, all these like loads to the ground artifact decks that play Urza's Saga, playing Wrath of the Skies is huge against these decks. Like being able to not only take out their permanents but also take out their lands is just going to be key. But maybe we can see if we can get those deck lists on the screen for everybody to have a little look at. And maybe we can start across on the Brood Scale side and see the exact 75 that they bought this weekend and how basically this is going to battle out. So what are your thoughts on this and how would you sideboard?
Yeah, so first of all, we're a combo deck, but we're also playing against a deck that is stacked to the brim with interaction. So with that in mind, we should also think about that we're a Karn deck and we have very, very few options when it comes to sideboarding. So those Veil of Summers, they look very juicy against the blue deck that is probably going to interact with us with Spell Snare, with Counterspell, and stuff like that. And then I also like the second Emrakul because I think the game will go long, and I don't think I'll be able to execute my combo reliably. So I want a tool to make sure that I'm happy if the game goes long.
All right, well, let's have a look on the other side. Let's look at the blue-white list, which again is 75. We used to see this in the past, go up to 85 or something crazy like that with Yorion, but none of that shenanigans here. This is a full. I'd say this is a Narset build, pretty firmly on it as well. What do you think?
Definitely. This is a very cool take on blue-white control, and I think a lot of the power lies in the strength of Wrath of the Skies, just like you highlighted. That is just such a flexible card across the format, and I think it's even good in this matchup. Looking at the sideboard, looks like we will try and upgrade with Consigned Memory, and you can definitely consider the Stony Silence as well, with the opposing deck being a combo deck that needs Walking Ballistas equipments, liquid metal coating to function. So some upgrades here for sure. And yeah, I think this matchup is quite awesome, and I think the game that just played out is, I'm basically saying the next one is going to be very different. I think the way this matchup plays out is going to be very different from game to game.
I'm going to quiz you. What does Whirlwind Denial do?
I actually have no idea.
I'm about to look at myself. 2 colors for 1 blue, instant. For each spell and ability your opponent control, counter it unless its controller pays 4.
So this is a card that takes care of cast triggers on Eldrazi.
I'm going to just nod my head and say yes. Well, more importantly, the flavor text on it is no, no, and no, which I'm very happy about. That's pretty cool. I like that one. All right, let's get back down to the table. Let's see how they're getting on sideboarding and shuffling up if we're going to go into match number 2. Looks like we've still got a little bit of sideboarding going on. If you're just tuning in, where have you been? Welcome. You're joining us in round number 4 of 7 that we have got today. And then we're going to cut to the top 8 later on. Me and Andreas, well, we've only got 2 more rounds left. We've got this one in round number 5, and then we're off skis. Andreas has got some more Magic to play. Will's got to go and eat at some point today. Probably, go to the gym. And I think it's sunny outside. I'm not sure. I'm stuck in a dark room with lots of bright lights on me, which might be giving me the illusion that it's bright outside.
Yeah, that's the illusion. That's the perception is the most important thing.
I remember then I'm in England and it's probably raining outside and dark.
Yeah.
and gory. But
how many rainy days do you guys have per year? Is it just like a myth, or is it like incredibly high?
How many days are there in a year?
Yeah.
365.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's not just a myth.
We like it over here. It's wet and yeah. If you like rain, you're good. Skin's waterproof. At the end of the day, if you think about it, what's the big deal? It's fine. We just don't have enough. I'm not going to say that. I don't know where we'll go with it if I say we don't get enough vitamin D over here. I'll leave that open to chat to do whatever they want to do with. But we're coming to the end of the sideboarding here. Being on the play, that's got to be a huge advantage if you're a low to the ground combo deck.
There's definitely some dynamics there that can change based on the play and draw. But the blue-white deck has good tools to kind of catch up. Spell snares we talked a little bit about earlier. It's a great way to catch up while being on the draw. You have free spells like Solitude. You have sweepers like the Wrath of the Skies. So the blue-white deck is built with that in mind, that sometimes you're going to be playing from behind. So we're focusing on sweepers and 0 mana interaction to get us into the game where the planeswalkers can shine. Also, this deck has a copy of Jace the Mind Sculptor, which is
you're happy.
It's an awesome card that doesn't get a lot of love these days.
No, we're unbanning cards in Modern now. This one was once banned. Came back off that ban list. Didn't really make the huge impacts that we're seeing right now with Mox Opal, so to speak. But I'm happy it's in the format. I think it's like one of those like key staple cards of Magic over the years. The art on it is obviously iconic. It's probably I imagine the most used art of Jace. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like that's the most iconic art I can think of Jace.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
That is channeling that magic in the middle.
That card changed a lot. Standard, Legacy, even Vintage, cubes all over the world. Yeah, that card is amazing. Very iconic.
I never got to play it in Standard. That was a little bit after my time.
Yeah, I didn't play at the time either. It just looked like far and away the best thing to be doing, like the the Callblade decks.
If it got reprinted into Standard now, I think it might still even be one of the best things you could do.
But okay.
We're playing Modern, so let's focus on the Modern. We've got our opening hands here for both players. I see some land and counter magic on the blue-white side, but P at the top on Brood Scale don't like it. In fact, both players don't like it. It's both going to drop down to 6.
I feel like we've had that happen like 3 or 4 times already. Like both players taking a mulligan today, and that's kind of cool. I enjoy the games where we start on an equal footing and go from there.
Talk me through the discipline of it though. Like I like knowing when to mulligan the hand. Some hands look great, and I've said this early on with Amulet. Like to me, I think that's a great hand, but actually experienced players are like, no, you got to throw it back. Or even I say newer players would look at a hand and be like, "Oh, if I draw that one card I need, this hand's great."
Yeah.
How do you work on getting the discipline to say no? I need to throw it back and potentially get a better set?
Yeah, it's a very complicated topic, but it's a lot about to do with knowing what your own deck is capable of, and then second of all, knowing what you can get away with in the exact matchup at hand. So there's a lot of stuff you can do in your preparation, and then there's a lot of stuff you have to figure out on the fly in the exact context that you're in. Then there's also a hand where you, because the opponent mulligan, then you'll also mulligan. Like the margins can be so slim that actually who decides first can be the tiebreaker. So it's definitely something that takes a lot of years to get used to. But I will say step one is knowing what your own deck is capable of and finding a, let's say, a floor of what your opening hand can do. Because we've also, taken the first two mulligans and then we kind of have to settle on a 5 where that is the point. We wouldn't have settled if there was a 7, but now we settled because it's a 5, because the punishment of going further is so big. So lots of small stuff there that, yeah, it takes practice.
Well, we've got to keep on both sides. We're starting off with an Ancient Stirrings on the other side, which is going to go find itself a Vexing Bauble. On the other side, we're just going to go for Surveil Land turn 1, like the card, keep it on top, pass, turn back. Nice, clean, easy magic as we kick off here in game number 2.
Oh, definitely. Very, very textbook. I think also the thing about the Vexing Bauble is it is currently a card that is presuming my opponent has Force and Negation in their deck. But we don't on the side of the blue-white deck, if I'm reading the deck list correctly. So there's a little bit of
Solitudes stops those as well.
yeah, stop solitudes. But 0 negations is probably not what Peter is expecting here. So I think it's a charm about closed decklist tournaments. I actually like that little bit of a sub game there.
Yeah, we haven't spoke about that, the open to closed deck list and like the correlation between both and the advantages the one gives over the other, etc., etc. I understand why it's a thing, but like as an infect player, I don't like my opponent knowing I'm an infect player game 1.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I rely on that advantage that they aren't going to have understand what is going to go down basically, so they don't keep those lightning bolts, those fatal pushes in hand. But here we go, starting off with that Vexing Bauble. Now we've got the Flesh Raker in place. So that is going to trigger. It's going to generate us a Eldrazi Spawn token as well as a point of damage.
Yep, definitely the bubble on the stack here. And what is this? Oh, respond with Orm's Chant.
So point of damage is going to happen. The spawn's going to be made, and then that is going to be not the end of the turn, because I think we've got a land drop to hit if we've got one, but it's the end of casting spells for the turn at least.
Yeah, no more spells. We can still get in there with the Flesh Raker. We still got our token, and we got to resolve the bauble. So here the chant is not, the chant is just saying I want to bridge into next turn. So it's kind of a, let's call it a tempo play, because it certainly isn't a card advantage play.
Do you think we had that, or do you think we drew that off the Attune?
Great call, but responding with the Attune at least makes your opponent wonder. So it's just good sequencing, because either he left open the door to draw the chant in case he wanted it, or he already had it and was able to conceal a little bit of information. So kind of cool little sequence there. But my guess is as good as yours.
No Wrath of the Skies. That was exactly what I'm hoping. My name's Peter right now. Is Wrath of the Skies, pay the X1, make the energy go up to 3. That would be able to deal with the whole board. We're going to crack the bubble in response.
Yep.
Get a card deeper, but unfortunately we lose our whole board. Can't float any extra mana. Can't do something like a Kozilek's Command to kind of rebuild at the end step. We're just left to doing a Rumble. In our main, it's going to flip over a Dismember, I think that is, or no, it's a Veil of Summer.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. Veil of Summer, some lands, and another Rumble. So obviously you can only choose between the 2 lands. But I really like the play here from the blue-white player, because that Orm's Chant did not look very promising. But if you just need to survive to the next turn to then buy back that tempo with some actual card advantage, I like it a lot. So he's basically justifying the chant because of the follow-up sweeper.
Well, this is Control Deck 101, right? Like they are the masters of 2-for-1s in any format that you play them in. That is that their game plan is let their opponent run away with the game a little bit, then we're going to sweep it up, deal with it, get a couple of 2-for-1s, 3-for-1s, even 4-for-1s at a time, and then start
Yeah.
pulling away with our card advantage that we've got in the deck, our big planeswalkers that are going to live and fight through. And in this instance, it's going to be things like Narset, Jace, and Big Teferi. Now, we got a couple of small Teferis in there as well.
Yeah, you're definitely bang on here about the game plan, and especially using your life as a resource is very important. So now you're not under any pressure. You probably have pretty good tools to make sure the opponent is never going to combo off. So it's all about not dying to the Karns, the constructs, and stuff like that. I feel like that's the main priority here.
Counter Magic is, I guess, it's an iffy one post board because now you've seen a Cavern of Souls, you've seen a Veil of Summer, and you've seen the Delighted Halfling.
Yeah,
3 different ways to turn off Counter Magic on
even
one side.
yeah, even the like the cast trigger off of the Emrakul, which is something that the control player will not know for sure is in there, but they will definitely be fearing the promised end.
Oh, don't even ask me how many card types in that graveyard right now. Enchantment, artifacts, creature, land,
sorcery. We know for the Rumble as well.
sorcery. We're having a count. This isn't good news. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm guessing there's 13 there.
Yeah, exactly. 5 mana in play. Oh, so let's see. I think how much mana did we have available there?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, we had everything.
5, 6,
right. So
7.
Counter the trigger and the Emrakul itself.
Oh no! On this side, no. I think we can only counter one thing. It's either the Emrakul or the trigger.
What are you? Why can't we counter the Emrakul itself?
We could, but we decided to stifle the trigger, basically.
But we could have replicated.
No, we only had 1 mana.
Oh, we only had 1 mana. I thought we had 4. Oh, what did we do with the 3 mana?
Pick the Kuhira in hand.
Okay. Well, so you got left between. You had to choose whether you wanted a 13/13 or you wanted to get Mindslavered. So not ideal.
Solitude is a card. That's what I'm saying.
That is the card you want here, and yeah.
Oh, and chat's quite smart. It's like if that Kevin named Eldrazi, we also can't counter it. So
Okay. So that was very good call. Very, very good call. So no matter how much mana we had available, we could only stifle the trigger. And we kind of have.
And we've got 20 life points. You know what I mean? Well,
sure.
I think we should have less than that actually because of the fetch. But or maybe our life totals are swapped around.
Also a possibility. A couple of fetches sounds about right. On the side of the blue-white player.
Well, we're signing because maybe a 13 point for life swing is happening in one way or the other. Either someone's taking 13 or potentially gaining 13 if a solitude was to come down.
Yeah. And in this case, there's actually an argument that you're holding up counter mana while having the solitude still, but let's see if that's true. Yep. That was definitely the case. So taking a lot of damage here, but you can kind of buy that back with solitude. And this also tells the brute scale player a lot about Evis's hand here. It certainly has interaction that costs mana.
Here comes the cure that we knew about. So that's going to give +1/+1 to.
That is a lord for elementals, right?
Yep. So and they gain vigilance. So we can get in for 4 in the face of both of these.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. 4/3 solitude lifelink. You're getting in there easily, buying back the life points that the Emrakul already inflicted.
Just letting our production of the life totals are the wrong way round. Having a look at that land, I couldn't tell you what it is, but I think it's the one that gives +3/+3 if you sacrifice the desert.
I remember this saw play in the beginning of Pioneer out of these green aggro decks, but I can't.
+3/+3.
All right.
Hepsid Oasis.
Right. So we're free rolling a little bit in our mana base here to get a little bit of spell land going for longer games. That's cool.
Sometimes you just need that giant growth. You know what I mean? OG Magic. More Surveilling. Also gives us our 3rd type of mana source, adding the green, which means that prismatic endings can go up to 3 CMC now.
Definitely a little bit of cool deck building when it comes to that. And then the green one is your surveil like the splash color of choice because it actually casts Kahira while being a blue source. It's just tiny bit of detail, but still pretty cool.
Still a little way to go, but we're bolstering our own life total, which is the more important thing here. What is that?
Let's see. What did the blue-white player just cast? It looks like it could be a Stony Silence, but I'm not entirely sure.
You could be right. That could.
Or is it a Rest in Peace?
Rest in peace. Yeah, the graveyards just went. So
yeah,
I've never seen that Rest in Peace before.
no, me neither. That's
All right, chat. Tell me what that Rest in Peace is from. It'll probably be a secret lair or something along these lines.
Yeah, that's actually a big hole in my knowledge. All of these.
I feel like I'm normally quite all over them, but yeah.
For sure, you are usually Mr.
I don't know
Reliable.
what that one is. It's only because the graveyards got exiled. I wonder why that one came in. Do you think it's because we're worried about the Emrakul? Like why would we bring in Stony Science in here?
Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think about other graveyard stuff. Yeah, maybe it's just to play like, let's call it a meddling mage on Emrakul type of deal.
Ravnica remastered, everyone's telling me.
Okay.
Chat's so big brain.
Indeed, lots of knowledge there combined. So Brood Scale is now on the table, so that kind of dictates the pace of this game a little bit, but it's not that bad for the blue-white deck because the main plan is just to sit back and react to what's going on.
We're going to start off with moving to combat, getting there for our 4 points of damage. So do we want to block? Maybe we want to make a Eldrazi spawn and put a +1/+1 count on the Brood Scale and block that way just to get it off. Maybe we want to chump block, sacrifice the spawn so no life is gained.
Yep, definitely a play you can make in the face of lifelink creatures.
I'm still
Good old Arcbound Ravager started that trend. Sakura Tribuilder, another good one. A personal favorite of mine. Blocking, sacrificing before damage.
I'm still trying to work out. Does Rest in Peace stop Blade of the Blood Chief triggering because the creature doesn't die?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, because it says dies, which is basically on older cards it would say, is put into a graveyard or whatever. Yeah, die is let's say it gets like Source to Plowshare or exiled, then it doesn't trigger. So it definitely works on multiple angles.
Sign on the Blood Chief coming down. Consign's going to put a stop to that.
So what are we trying to consign? The activation?
No, but it was hard cast. We didn't let it hit the battlefield. We consigned it, counted target color spell.
And which card are you talking about?
So
which card countered?
The
blade?
The blade.
Perfect. So now it entered the exile, which it should because of Rest in Peace. Okay, now I'm back in the game.
We're getting there. It's like playing Cluedo. It's like, oh, so that's doing that to that. It's not the easiest thing to interpret when we can't just see the cards just off the table here. But life total getting swung back down. Another 4 points of life gained. Another 4 points left dealt. Another card off the top. 2 cards in hand.
And passing the turn here. I'm trying to think about what is in that hand. Kozilek's Command is a.
That's the card you want. I think if you can have a Kozilek's Command in hand, that'd be great. And Narset coming down. I was thinking like the Kozilek's Command, we can make it uncountable through the Cavern, I believe, as well.
Cavern is only for creatures.
I'm an idiot then.
No, you're not the first one, but that would be like super broken if that was the case.
What is the land that makes you got paid 2 life?
Beseiju, the old Beseiju.
Old Beseiju.
Beseiju who shelters all. I used to, that card saw a little bit of play in, Scape Shift, Show and Tell decks back in the day.
Wrath of the Skies for 1.
Probably 1, yeah. You want to keep the Rest in Peace around.
So what's this going to deal with? It's going to deal with 3 creatures in response where Besiegeing the Rest in Peace.
Mm-hmm. So Beseiju is exiled because that's part of the activation. So it goes to exile straight away because you need to discard it. That's part of the cost.
Yeah, I think they're just going through that now.
Mm-hmm. But it gets a bit more complicated with cards like Nature's Claim and Abrupt Decay. I'm actually not sure, but this is part of the cost to put it in the graveyard. So this is straightforward.
I think we're asking is Wrath of the Skies has been cast and then X is being spent, because I think once X is spent you can't react, or
Correct.
so I think they're asking at what phase is this actually being cast at, what step in this Wrath being
Great
resolved?
call, because it's a bit confusing compared to something like Galvanic Discharge, where you decide on resolution. But here you actually decide when putting it on the stack. If I'm correct, I will double check how that card is worded.
Unless we do
No, you can actually. It's the same. You can change.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you could change it.
Yeah.
Like on the thing.
So it's like Galvanic Discharge in a way. So if something happens before the resolution, you can kind of change your mind.
We were able to go get ourselves a land off the Besiju. Then when the Wrath resolves, we're going to get rid of both of these Delighted Halflings and the Eldrazi Spawn token. Just leaving the Brood Scale in play. One green mana, another Delighted Halfling.
Yeah, not ideal.
Yeah, the bit where that ship is sailed, where that would actually be a good draw at this point. You want that in the first couple of turns, not on turn, I don't know, 12 that we're on right now.
Yeah. Yeah, things are looking super grim for the poor Eldrazi player. I guess it has some Eldrazi in it.
Well, the life totals have also swapped around. Remember, we're trying to work on that. The life totals at the minute, we've got blue-white on 23.
Yes.
And
so
we've got Brood
despite
Scale
getting
at
hit by
9.
Emrakul, the blue-white deck is on the higher life total thanks to some endurance swings.
Sacrifice the desert, give it +3/+3. We're going to double block, single block.
So let's see. How big is the Brood Scale right now? Is it a 6/6?
6/6. And I don't believe it gains trample.
There's no trample shenanigans, I believe.
Yeah, the desert just gives it +3/+3, no trample.
3 more life gained.
So I think it was going at the Gnar set. So yeah, we threw it under the bus.
Yeah, the blue-white player is certainly trying to set up the same combo as we saw game 1. Unclear if it's possible. I don't know what was found off of the Narset activation, but usually it's high impact cards because we have reached a point in the game where everything is castable.
Here comes the Teferi 3, tick down, go another card deeper. Kahira is going to get in there for 3 points of damage. We can smell blood in the water. 2 turn clock left. Another 3 mana is going to get tapped by the looks of it. This is going to be another one. Let's just bounce all your threats back. Or do we want to tick this one up and let our sorceries be cast?
Yeah, I thought about that briefly. So we're really trying to play the tempo plan here. Attune with Aether. Since we play cards we actually want to cast Sorcerer Speed, like another Rest in Peace, like Stony Silence, we cast our cantrip right away. I like that.
So if there is no counter spell here, this is actually a window to be able to win, right? We can try and play our combo this turn and potentially go off. We've got the Brood Scale in hand, which is now
but at that point it would be a 3-card combo, right?
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, you would. You'd need something to do with all that mana.
Yeah,
the large creature.
So replaying those cards is not super scary. And here's a Springleaf Drum, not scary either. So things are going according to plan for the blue-white deck.
Tick up Teferi. Get in there with Kahira.
I love that Evis is basically turning this blue-white control deck into a Delver deck with the companion.
That's tomorrow. I've seen a few more Delvers popping up in Legacy. But we'll see that converts into paper magic tomorrow.
Oh, definitely. Delver is going to be all over tomorrow. That's a fan favorite.
It is a fan favorite. The Insect Apparition.
Oh, yeah. People, they have 2 modes in Legacy. It's either, oh, we need Delver to be playable, it's so fun, and then when Delver is too good, then we also hear the complaints about that. So, but I think it's actually in a reasonable spot right now. It's a good choice without being oppressive.
Here comes the hard cast Solitude. I think we need to pay 1 more mana for it, but
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you're definitely right, unless we're missing something underneath or between those lands. Opponent is activating in response to get a spawn here and one more life point, I guess.
There might be a land off the table that we can't quite see, but it doesn't matter right now.
Well, I would just argue that it always matters. So let's see, Solitude and Kihira, that aggro,
That's
the aggro
lethal, right?
we didn't know we needed.
Well, if we're gonna have to go off the life pad on the right hand side at the minute, because I think our life totals are they're trying to fix it.
Yeah.
So at the minute, I think we've got 6 versus 27, which means we can't take the hit from both. So we are going to chump block one of them, drop down to 3. We're going to draw 3 more cards from Lions Revealed.
Nice little draw 3 here. Funny fact here, we could have done that instant speed, but because we have sorcery stuff in our deck that we want to hit, we do it right away. Instant speed because of Teferi, which is kind of cool.
Playing a new Narset, replace the one that's on the battlefield, go 4 cards deeper, decide if we want to put any of these in our hand, or if we can put any of these in our hand, I should say.
So interestingly enough, the shields are kind of down again, but only 1 draw here to save Peter, and not going to do it.
You're going to be able to take that down. Blue-white control looks really good there, but then is that a surprise having a Wrath of Skies deck against a Saga deck? I think there's only one way it was really going to go, but very well played and disciplined. We did see that Emerald Call come down, and we were able to take the hit from it.
Oh yeah,
we didn't panic. We knew what our deck can do. We knew how to navigate our way out of that with the cards and resources we had, and turn that into a 2-0 victory. So